They want to negotiate badly. We're in no rush because, we said we could have made a deal. They should have made a deal. And then we bombed the hell out of their various places. We're in no rush, but if they want to negotiate, we're here.
Mr. President, I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein file, but I just want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning.
The President of the United States in the Oval. It's not the King of Bahrain. I'm not sure who that is from Bahrain. I got to figure that out. Guys, welcome to the show. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. It's good to be with you. Trump is doing Trump stuff. Very, very critical of Jerome Powell. I'll get into that. He's with the Prime Minister, the Crown Prince and the Prime Minister. And let's bring it to you. Glad you're here.
Good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city. It's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman. Yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with
No, they're not, sir.
A guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including in the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And
we're discussing that in every single way, but you're not going to win this argument. Your approach to Epstein was wrong, and the people said so. Let Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, release whatever needs to be released, and let us move on. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. I have this fight with anybody. We're not paying attention to the other things because we're talking about this thing. Sorry. With all due respect, Mr. President, there's only so much the people care about your ego. At some moment, they say, what about me? This guy was a child predator. I wasn't even planning on doing this stuff, but holy cow, he brought it up. He's in the Oval right now with the Crown Prince of Bahrain. They were talking about Jerome Powell, a host of things. I want to get to all the things, but I'll say it again. He is missing on this everywhere. And the proof that he's missing is that he's still talking about it. Still talking about it. He should just allow it to happen and let the information get released. Move on. Do I think he's on a list? No. Do I think he knew Jeffrey Epstein? Yes. Do I think he was on an island? No. How do I know this? It would have already been released. With everything else the Democrats have done, it would have been released. But this is not the argument. Who was involved with abusing children? Always the argument. Those people need to go to jail. And I am not the only one. I mean, have you seen this? Before I get back to President Trump, have you seen this from Tim Burchett, the congressman, on this subject? Holy cow.
I don't trust him.
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly. I mean, that's not over the top either. I'm over it. It disgusts me. I'm big on clarity and transparency, and that's good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I think.
Correct. Find them and hang them. Well, I only said throw them in jail. But it's a far cry from Charlie Kirk. I'm going to trust my friends in government. What is happening here? We're now trusting people. Because what? Vote for Trump means absolute fealty on all things at all times? That is not the way this works, boo-boo. You have your own mind. And you may think differently, and it's okay. I support Trump on the border. I support Trump on the Middle East. I want him to be correct about tariffs in this economy, which is super weird. He's wrong about Epstein. End of list. He handled it wrong. That's all. And if you keep saying, I don't know why we're paying attention to this, stop saying that. Dear Lord, somebody stop him from saying it. But let's get back to President Trump. They're having the conversation in the Oval Office.
We have some pretty good deals to announce, but every time we send out a letter, that's a deal. The big one really is going to be on the 150 countries that we're really not negotiating with, and they're smaller. We don't do much business with them. Because you have a lot of countries, you have over 200 countries, and a lot of people don't know this, but we'll have well over 150 countries that we're just going to send a notice of payment out, and the notice of payment is going to say what the tariff, and it's all going to be the same for everyone, for that group. They don't, they're not big countries, and they don't do that much business. It's not like the ones that we've agreed with, like China, like Japan, where we're negotiating with them, but I think probably we'll live by the letter with Japan. We're very close to a deal with India where they open it up. Indonesia yesterday was, it wasn't an open country, now it is. And they have tremendous copper, quality copper, and probably the most copper. And we made a deal with Indonesia. We pay no tariff, zero, and we have total access to trade. That's a phenomenal deal for our companies. And we've agreed with them, as you know, on 19%. They pay 19%. And it's a good deal for them, it's a good deal for us in that case. But we have a number of them coming up. But overall, we're doing well, and we're taking in a lot of money, a lot of money. We have the number one, we have the most oil of any country in the world, even more than them, which is hard to believe. But we have a little larger piece of land, right?
We do, sir.
But we're number one in the world in oil, and we're drilling, and today it hit $64 a barrel, which is great. And that'll help stop wars, actually. If you want to know the truth, it's going to help stop wars. And we hope to get it down a little bit more. But we have oil down to $2, $2.25, $2.50 in numerous states. We hit one at $1.98 a gallon. And that's a great thing. That's one of the reasons that inflation's in check. When you can do that, you stop the inflation. What Biden did is he ended our policies, went to his policies with, he doesn't have a policy. Some lunatic around the desk had a policy. Whoever operated the auto pen had a policy.
Yes.
Which is, by the way, I think the biggest scandal. That's the scandal they should be talking about.
Yes.
Jeffrey Epstein. The scandal you should be talking about is the auto pen, because I think it's the biggest.
I can talk about two scandals at once, sir.
In American history. So the economy is doing really well, and people are seeing it. Yeah.
Will you ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to release more documents to finally put this controversy to bed?
Yeah, whatever's credible, she can release. If a document is credible, if a document's there that is credible, she can release. I think it's good. But it's just a subject. He's dead. He's gone, and all it is the Republicans. Certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats, and they're following a Democrat playbook. And no different than Russia, and all the other hoaxes. They're started by the Democrats, and some Republicans, in this case I was surprised, but they got duped.
But have you talked about it?
What's wrong? God.
Have you talked about it?
Oh,
Have you
what
talked
is-
about it with her the last week?
President, first of all, your high-ranking officials, whether it's been your FBI director or Pam Bondi, they have made some inconsistent statements in the past. You've had.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak about him, but I can
Terry
say
Pickett
that
asking the
Pam
question.
Bondi, I really think that she's done very good. She says, I gave you all the credible information. And if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that? I mean, honestly, what more can she do? And we do have bigger problems. We have problems with millions of illegal people that came in here, and they're killers and murderers. We have 11,888 murderers that were allowed into our country by Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, stupid Joe Biden. He allowed them into our country. And you know what? We got to do something about it. She's got a lot of things she's working on. And, you know, it's very sad that somebody can be waylaid, just get waylaid, but I think she's doing a great job, President.
No, Mr. President. Allow me. She has to be able to do more than one thing at a time. Letting out credible information is fine. That's all anybody was asking for. But to say you don't get any information on something that is serious, and I'll say it again. I mean, I was gone. I was done. I can't force him to do it. He's not going to release the information that we discussed releasing. Okay, I cannot force him to do it. I was moving on. He backtracked, and he's still backtracking. And now you're going to tell a large section of the base, oh, you were duped? That's the argument? Nope. No. But if Pam Bondi will release information, well, then this goes away. We want to know who was on the island. We want to know who was involved in this trafficking. And then we want them to go to jail. You can't have a society that allows child sex trafficking. You cannot. You can't do it. The president's still in the Oval. Honestly, I can't believe he went down this road. There are so many other things talking about, and he went to it twice, which is how I know he's backtracking. And it's not a good position for him. He's not natural to it. His whole world is charged forward, and I think he should. And on the economics, he really, really can. Crazy things going on out there, which could signal the sky's the limit. We will get into that. Keep it here. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. Stop. You stop talking about it, sir. Just stop already. All right, he's going to keep talking. Let's listen in. I'm glad you guys are here. Some people agree with me. Some people disagree with me. I'm sticking to my guns on this. That's all I've got. There is no dupe. That Democrats are into this, please. They're just trying to grab onto something that they think is going to hurt. President Trump needs to understand that the people who are bothered by this positioning aren't bothered on the other things, and they're still with you on the border, on the economy, on the Middle East, etc. Oh, gosh, the idea that MAGA's fractured, there's a disagreement. There's no fracture. Fractured is a Democratic Party that quite literally cannot figure out how to say hello to somebody. Back to the president.
The world, they allowed him to come into our country from mental institutions, insane asylums, just walk right through. They couldn't come into your country. They couldn't come into any country in the world except our country. And they came in from the worst places, gang members, drug dealers. They all came in. Turn it off, please. They all came in, and I'm doing something about it. We have it under check right now. We got rid of a lot of the murderers already. Some of them we put in our prisons because they're so bad we don't want to take a chance in putting them in a foreign prison and have them come back. But we've done a great job. Our country's in great shape. We literally have the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it's true what the king said, what a lot of people said. We were a dead country. 1 year ago, we were a dead country. We were laughed at all over the world. We had Afghanistan with that horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Look what happened with Russia and Ukraine. That should have never happened. Look what happened with Israel. That would have never happened. Hamas had no money. Iran had no money. There was no money to do an attack like that. All these things that happened that wouldn't have happened if you had good leadership. And that's what you should be talking about. Thank you very much, everybody.
He's done.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
You've been watching live coverage.
Oh, thank
We
you.
return now to our scheduled program.
I appreciate
Please join it in
that
progress.
right there. We don't need to know about any more live coverage. That is Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, right there. Guys, I'm right now tweeting someone. It's a posting. He's just, I don't know what he's doing. And I thought the end to that presser was abrupt. I know I'm going to get emails. What are you going to do? The press is not the issue here. Screw them. They're not the issue. Not by a long shot. Coming back to radio. Zelensky, I don't know. I guess it's a day of people not at their very best because Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine has made an outrageously ridiculous mistake. A ridiculous mistake. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. He's doing an interview with Newsmax. And in this interview, he states regarding President Trump realizes that Putin is lying to him. And it is important that President Trump sees this for himself, not what he learns from someone else, but what he sees for himself. The guy is getting you weapons through NATO. The guy signed the deal on the mineral rights, which of course is going to bring about its own level of security. That security is going to force Vladimir Putin to rethink methodologies of attack. You have the best opportunity, Vladimir Zelensky, you have had in years to get Vladimir Putin to a table and end this attack on your country. All of that. And your answer is, your response is, your statement is, well, I'm glad Trump finally figured out he's being lied to. Is it me, guys? Is it me? Am I reading too much into it? Or am I just begging people to just be normal for 5 minutes? Why can't you just be normal, Volodymyr Zelensky? Why in the world would you ever put yourself in a position to be seen as possibly insulting President Trump? It's worth it? Huh. So you realize Putin's the problem. About time. Can't be that crazy. You can't be that certifiable. And for the record, I think it's gross, absolutely gross for someone to make that claim of the president. You don't think that Trump understood the kind of killer that Vladimir Putin is? I think that's insane. It's insane if someone believes that. And the reason I say this is because Trump's methodology, his philosophy is give it a try. Okay, other people didn't do it. You try. If it doesn't work, then we'll try the next thing. But this is exactly what he did with Kim Jong-un. When he decided to, I think it's, what do they call that there? At the checkpoint, the crossing point between North and South Korea. When he decided to step into North Korean territory, and he didn't just step over. He walked 40, 50 feet, took a look around, said, you know what? Basically, I saw this from over there too. That's exactly who he is. You think he's appeasing the dictator? You think he's just palling around with this nuclear threat? He's utilizing his skill set to try and solve a problem. It's exactly who he is. It's exactly how he has built so much of his life. This is how he works. All right, other people couldn't do it. Let's stand aside. Let me try. That's him. It never once meant he was okay with dictators. Never once. When he called Vladimir Putin strong or called Xi Jinping smart, you think that was kowtowing to dictators? This is what the left said. They don't know what they're doing. Barack Obama actually bowed to people. Trump said, oh, he's a smart guy. He throws him a compliment to try and get him on his side. And then when they don't do what he wants, then he's got 900 words for him. Oh, he's inventing words. Rational people know the difference. We always have. And so in any situation, he tries the one route, then he goes the other route. But where does it help Zelensky if you start with the insult? How does that help you? Deborah has a comment saying, I think Trump has been too trusting. He thought Putin would listen to him. Trump did say many times at his rallies that he would end the war with Putin in Ukraine. I was skeptical. So Trump said he would end it on day one. And you're absolutely right. It did not end on day one. Absolutely true. I think the people who took him at his word on day one don't understand politics and the concepts of poetry and prose. I would argue that it wasn't a question of too trusting. I would argue that he looked at his relationship with Putin and said, we're going to try this based on other things and see if it works out. I do agree with you that since nothing has worked out and then the bombings have occurred and the drones on Kyiv and other places, that Trump takes as a personal insult. Oh, absolutely. Don't get it twisted. He believes that he can go about doing something his way and finding a way to make it work. But he's never been afraid to drop the hammer when it's necessary. But when Putin not only was, saying one thing and doing another, but doing another in such a violent way and killing so many people, oh, absolutely. Trump got PO'd, which makes even less sense that Zelensky would make this statement. So I hear you, Deborah, and I would say that I think that is a natural reflex. So he's too trusting of Putin. I think that it's more of his natural disposition. Let me try. And then I'll bring on the heavy that nobody else can do. He's a very transactional guy, as we know. He's also a very carrot stick guy, which is a very transactional concept. Let me try the ways. And if I can't make it go, all right, we'll bring down the thunder. It's good by me. So now I think that's what we're seeing. Thunder. That's going to come. It's going to come in the guise of these weapon systems, offensive and defensive, being purchased by NATO and going to Ukraine. Now let's see what Putin does. Because as I have stated, this idea that if he doesn't come to the table in 50 days, they're going to see big tariffs, Putin doesn't care. The only thing he understands is force, based on just the history of Russia. That's the thing that's going to move everything. I don't know if the economics will move him. Economics once choked the country. That's what Reagan did to Gorbachev. Putin's not Gorbachev. This is Tony Katz Today. Welcome back, everybody. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. I am smoking from West Tampa Tobacco. This is the red. Now, I like West Tampa Tobacco. Really interesting story of father and daughter, and really doing some incredibly good work. So this is a full-bodied cigar. This is a Toro right here, 6x52. It's Mexican San Andreas in the wrapper, Nicaraguan in the binder. It's a whole bunch of things in the filler. This is a full-bodied smoke. Of all the West Tampas, this one is not my favorite, but I haven't had it in a while, and I wanted to try it. I forgot how full-bodied it was. Not necessarily the way I would start my day. Not a bad cigar, just not of everything they do my favorite. A favorite from them, they do a cigar called the Circle of Life. So they've got the red label, a black label, a white label, but they do a cigar called the Circle of Life. The Circle of Life is a stupendous smoke. Really and truly terrific. Let me see. Tampa Tobacco. Let me see where we are here. I want to see what that is. Ecuador. It's a Habana Oscuro wrapper, so darker Sumatra in the binder, and the filler out of Nicaragua, Esteli, and Jalapa, and some other areas. It's just so well put together, so well balanced. Circle of Life, West Tampa Tobacco. Great smoke. Great smoke, indeed. Now, do we have to keep talking Epstein? Make it stop. I will stop talking Epstein because I do have some other things that I want to get to. Like the bigotry of Jasmine Crockett. I think I got a little Masterpiece Theater to do. Yes, I do. Perfect. I would love to tell you that Representative Jasmine Crockett didn't say anything ridiculous in the last 24 hours, but we all know that's not true. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. And thus I bring you it's time for another rousing rendition of Masterpiece Theater. Not just any Masterpiece Theater, Jasmine Crockett Masterpiece Theater. I should really get the name right. In today's edition of Jasmine Crockett Masterpiece Theater, the Congresswoman from Texas wants you to know that everybody in Texas is just a great big bigot. And you are a bigot for possibly liking them.
First of all, it hasn't quite been said clearly that Texas has always been found to be intentionally discriminatory. And so I want y'all to understand the makeup of my state. The state is a majority minority state. And what this legislature historically has done is what they plan to do again, is to dilute the voices of people of color in order to make sure that they can get to where they're trying to go.
So Texas is now going to silence Black and brown voters, even though they make up the majority of the population in Texas. And how is this going to happen?
We saw this Department of Justice decided to put out a letter, and what did they do? We only have 4 seats that are represented by Black folk, where the vast majority of the people that get to decide who they have represent them are Black. They decided to attack 3 of the 4 seats that we have in the state. They decided to go after a Latina. They are specifically deciding to splinter the communities of common interest, as well as just blatantly say, we are going to dilute minority voices.
First, if she's saying that all black people and all brown people think alike. That's what she's saying. Common interest. That's what she's saying. Wow, it's a lot of bigotry. Secondly, how are they doing this? What is the dividing that's taking place here? Or are you saying that here you have 4 members of Congress who are black or of color? I don't even know what the terminology they claim to use is anymore. And they're running candidates against you? Wait, is this the argument? That the Republicans are running candidates against you and a candidate may be white? Is this your argument? Nah, no way is that your argument.
So we know that the courts, ever since we've had a Voting Rights Act, have always found this state to be intentionally discriminatory. That is what they are going to do. So I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices so that they can go ahead and have an oversized say in this. So I fully anticipate that's exactly where they're going with this map. It's the only way to do it. We didn't understand how we got to the map that they gave us last time because that state was grown by 95% people of color. They went out of their way to make sure that we got 0 new seats.
This has been another rousing rendition of Jasmine Crockett Masterpiece Theater. That's special. Her argument is gerrymandering. Look, if you say to me that gerrymandering is a problem, I'll say to you, sure. You first, Democrats. Just take a look at Illinois. There are a whole host of states that have moved heaven and earth to ensure that certain people get elected and certain people don't, but not on color, on politics. This is the part that most bothers you. If you want to put an end to gerrymandering, let's lay a grid over the state. Whoop, done. Simple. Let's not have these things that splinter off this way and that, and the district doesn't make any sense. No sense. You're not going to get a disagreement. But it's all racial. You're making you're engaged in the argument that all people of a certain look, a certain characteristic think alike. And that's the bigotry. I mean, that's pure bigotry right there. It's Jasmine Crockett. It's exactly who she is. And if we're going to talk pure bigotry, well, Joy Reid is not about to be left out of this mix.
Trump has those kind of voters. They are dedicated to him personally. They care more about him being happy than them being happy. They care more about him having what he wants than them having what they want. They will give up their health care. They will let their daughters be destroyed. They will let their families be destroyed. There's nothing he can do. He can drown them in Texas. He can take away their FEMA. He can do anything he wants to them. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a cult.
She's really an evil person. I mean, an absolute evil and broken person. I shared it with you. I don't know who's actually listening to her. But that's where we're at. What is interesting about her argument is that I can, in 3 notes, I don't know why I just looked at my watch. I looked at my Flederman Von Riest watch and I said 3 notes. I don't know why the watch doesn't do that. It just tells great time, vonriest.com. Listen again to this madness.
Trump has those kind of voters. They are dedicated to him personally. They care more about him being happy than them being happy. They care more about him having what he wants than them having what they want.
If that was true, Joy Reid, allow me to ask you, explain the fight on Epstein to me. Huh? Listen, Joy Reid, it's a shame that it's so easy to out you as a dunce in this regard, but it's just so easy. The answer is no. Trump, oh gosh, to teach and to teach and to teach. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me if this is for you redundant, but there are new people who listen, and I want to make sure it is understood. So for some of you, come along with me. This is the first time you heard it, and some of you who you understand this already, you knew this coming in. Just go with me. Let us do our part. Donald Trump did not invent anything that people weren't already feeling. What Trump did that was so miraculous is that he gave voice to what people were already feeling. That was the appeal. And by the way, still is. Trump understood what people were saying on the factory floor. Trump understood what people were saying at the kitchen table. Trump understood what people were saying in the boardroom. Trump understood what people were saying in every walk of life and connected with them everywhere in a way that no Democrat can or will for the next 20 years. They are simply incapable because Democrats can only connect with elitists in the college faculty lounge or with the Antifa types that they're hiring. Oh, wait for that story. They have no way to connect, and Trump connected everywhere. And he walks into a room and he's smiling, and this person wants to shake his hand, and that person wants to shake his hand, and everyone is listening like, yes, that's what I feel. Now, Trump did some things in terms of giving things a turn of phrase that were better, like, for example, build the wall. Build the wall. We should build a wall. We should totally build a wall. Yeah, we should build a wall, and Mexico's going to pay for it. Did he just say Mexico is going to pay? Hell yeah, Mexico's going to pay for it. That's fantastic. Oh, I didn't even think of Mexico was going to pay for it. Oh, hell yeah. And there it went. Illegal immigration? Deport them. You know how many kitchen tables that conversation has had? How many bar stools that conversation has had? What are we doing? Why aren't we deporting these people? They're not here legally. And the left won't even admit there's a difference between illegal and legal immigration. Trump did not give voice to something new. He gave voice to something that existed. And when he goes against that, Epstein, people go, oh, we've been told for years, child sex trafficker. We've been told for years that there's a list. We don't accept the fact that these people are allowed to just abuse children and wander free. We got to put a stop to this. And then he said, I don't know why you're paying attention to that. Oh my God, very foolish for Republicans to pay attention to that. You know, some real people really let me down on that. And now Trump is backtracking because the people said, no, we actually think that's very important. Who's on the list? We don't know. Is there a list? I'm not 100% sure what a list would look like. You know what I know? When you tell me to stop thinking about it, stop talking about it, stop asking about it, that's weird. And if you ask me to trust my government, the answer is sure, as soon as you produce the list. And I would ask the president, I mean, this would be a hard one. Some people are like, you need to do an interview with the president. It's been a while. I should reach out. Are the people who you think who have been foolish about the Epstein list, does that include Dan Bongino? Because there are definitely plenty of people, Joy Reid, who would rather be on that list with Dan than not. Joy Reid, once again, wrong. But then again, people who hate for a living rarely ever right. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I had to go through a bunch of things there. So, first things first, a shortened live stream today. Sorry, I some things going on here that camera's not going to work for. I'm on Newsmax at 5:25 this evening. So got that. Yes, my Von Reese. This is the Rudin record. This is the chronograph. Spectacular, absolutely spectacular piece. I love it. It comes in a variety of colors. I happen to love the brown and the green together on this. You can go to Von Riest, RIESTE, vonriest.com. Use promo code CATS, get your discount. You should order 7 of them immediately, if not sooner. Go to Von Riest, RIESTE, vonriest.com, and get yours. Assembled right here in Indiana. Spectacular. This is the Seiko movement. So they do some of the Miyota movement. This is the Seiko movement. The Munchner, which is their small seconds manual, that is a Swiss movement. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. But everything's assembled here, right here in Indiana. Love it. Go to Von Riest and use promo code CATS and get your discount. No. You are all still loved. It's just a thing. Tomorrow we'll be back to the regular time. We'll be back to the regular time tomorrow for sure. But I think that whole piece about Joy Reid and the Epstein thing, people support Trump because there are things getting done that we wanted done. And look at what they did to stop him, and look what he fought through. We respect it. We respect it in a huge way. But when you say you're being foolish for asking this question, people be like, yeah, no. We're right. We're right, and you're backtracking, and stop. Take tariffs. Tariffs are taxes. Tariffs should be leading to freaking inflation, and it's very minimal. And what the heck is going on? And people are spending. Credit card debt is down. No part of this makes sense. There's this cool story in the Wall Street Journal, like Trump's winning the trade war. I don't know why anybody's talking about it. Trump's winning. This whole thing of tariffs, no tariffs, letters, no letters. He's winning. Winning. It's crazy. So now it's all about the deals. But really the deals so far have just kind of been meh. Investments, and talk about investments has been pretty big though. So I said tariffs are taxes. This makes no sense. Seems to be working out. I'm not quite sure why yet. My math is solid. But he's showing success. Am I supposed to not recognize that? It's very, very weird. Very weird indeed. So President Trump is now saying that he won't be firing Jerome Powell soon. We're not planning on doing anything. This is what Trump told reporters. However, the reporting was just a little while ago that absolutely Trump is getting himself ready, closer and closer to showing Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the door. Tony Katz today, good to be with you. This interest rate conversation. Why are interest rates so high? This is the argument. It continues to be the argument. Why can't we lower them? Why can't we be more competitive? Then refinance the debt and do a whole host of things. It doesn't have to be like this. And there had been a conversation we had on the show about some level of new normal and markets working like, okay, these are the interest rates. Now let's just go to work. Well, what if there is indeed a plan to lower interest rates and reduce the balance sheet at the Fed? Market going to further explode? Lower interest rates? Lower debt? Maybe. But as we were hearing this was ramping up, he's now bringing that down, trying to bring down the temperature on that. That's one story. This one is from over at News Nation. And if you go to TonyKatz.com, the story is there for you. There's a bunch of rallies that are going on. This is going to take place on Thursday. They're called Good Trouble Lives On protests. They are honoring the life of John Lewis, late congressman, civil rights activist. John Lewis talked about getting into good trouble. Not a fan of Donald Trump at all. Well, the CEO of a firm called Crowds on Demand says that he was offered money for recruiting people to participate in the anti-Trump protests. And he said, I'm rejecting it not because I don't want to take the business, but because, frankly, this is going to be ineffective. It's going to make us all look bad. The owner, Adam Swart is his name, S-W-A-R-T, says that he was offered $20 million to provide protesters for the events on Thursday. Now, there are many of us, you and I, if we were sitting on the bar stool having a bourbon and discussing these protests, we'd say, you know, all these people are AstroTurf, right? You know, they're paid to show up. And be like, absolutely. And we've seen the videos and everything else. We know this. To a large measure, they're paid to show up. Now, the middle-aged liberal white women, no, they show up because, you know, they're middle-aged liberal white women. But everybody else, no. They're paid. Now, the question is, as Stephen is asking in our chat room, by whom? Great question, Stephen. When asked who exactly offered his firm the money to recruit people, Swart would not disclose the information because he does not talk about who exactly his clients are, and it would be bad for business. So, is that somehow a plausible deniability or making a claim and then not following it up? We know that there are, whether we're talking about Soros-type groups, we're talking about NGOs, we're talking about a whole host of people who have put money up to make this happen. We have seen this in multiple places. So yes, I would like to know the name of the group, but the name of the group won't be as important as where the funding comes from. And I think it's amazing that someone could offer $20 million after they shut down USAID. See what I did there? That's not I know, right? Not bad. Not bad. Keep it here. This is Tony Katz today. I think it stinks to high heaven. Oh, hold on a second. By the way, great comment, Mark. Glad you're here. Open the purple top for God's sake. It's sitting there all alone. By the way, look at me. I can actually point with this arm now. That is Willet. That's what that is right there. So, so the bottle to the right of that, you can't actually see in the light there. That's Weller 12, which, yeah. And then there's the Willet. So can I tell you, I have 3 of those. I haven't opened them yet. I got 3 of those, and the one next to that. So that's Recovery Rye. So that is a rye that I created during COVID, and with a guy who's a distributor, a bourbon distributor, and the owner of a cigar lounge called Blend Bar Cigar. Guy's name is Corey Johnston, and created that. This was my idea. And we would sell it and raise money for hospitality workers who couldn't work, who were being absolutely screwed because of COVID, and their business was shut down. So we created that. We sold it all over the state of Indiana. And I think I may have the last 5 bottles in existence. I actually gave one as a gift the other day. And so I think I've got like 4 or 5 bottles left. I've got that, which is open. I've got like 4 or 5 unopened bottles. So that's what that is right there. That went really well. It was interesting because we got onto shelves immediately, and calls got made because, you know, guys in the liquor business pay attention to what's going on, and they saw this and like, what is that? What is this? What the heck is this? Calls were made. Who is this group? Who are they? Who are they backed by? How did they get on the shelves? Like it was nuts. It was nuts. I have been over the last few years pondering when I would do my own bourbon. I'm distillery business is not for me. Investment in that is not for me. I think working with good folk and creating brands in collaboration, that's kind of where I live and breathe. So I'm working on that right now. So anyway, that is Willet. Bravo, Mark. Maybe when we do a live Eat, Drink, Smoke, we'll test that. And when we do, we pass it out to everybody there. We're good like that. Appreciate you guys being here. Cannot thank you enough. I'm sorry I got to run early today, but the video has to run early today. You can go to WIBC.com and you get to listen to the rest of the show, including my conversation with Josh Hammer of Newsweek. You caught him just eviscerating so-called comic Dave Smith at the Turning Point convention there in Tampa this past weekend. We spoke earlier. I'll share it coming up in the 2 p.m. hour of the show. We went deep, very, very deep. So tune in for that. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you tomorrow. I'll be back. Take care.